Hello and welcome to your bolster, or your pillow, or your mat, or your bed, or your chair, or wherever you're choosing to meditate and find some stillness today. My name's Tess, if we haven't met yet, and thank you for being here. Today we're going to talk about the relationship between the heart, the brain, and the breath, and how they're kind of a feedback loop into one another. And if we're able to slow down one of them, odds are the other two are going to follow. So please set up your area however you like to have it set. Maybe you like candles or incense. Maybe you like to have a cup of water. I'm a big fan of meditation being the way that you'd like it to be. I think that there's so many barriers, I guess, that, no, it must be this way. You must sit tall and there be no music and there be, this or that. And if you're able to find stillness and your stillness looks like burning your favorite incense while you're laying on your back with the bolster under your knees, that is still stillness. So please go there. I'm going to be shifting the camera so that y'all can look at the waves instead of look at me sitting here. So let's all find a seat or a lay down or some point together. Maybe you like to get the hips up higher than the knees, so to sit onto a bolster or to a block. Just allows for a little bit more space. Gives your mind one less thing to think about while it's sitting. The mind's job is to think. So please, if you're sitting here being like, meditation, I don't know, man, I have too busy of a mind, it's just not for me. I think it's exactly for you. Because we get better at what we train ourselves to be better at. You train at the gym, you get stronger. You do asana, the yoga postures, you become maybe more flexible or more able to do these funky shapes. But when you do meditation, what you're learning to do is to resist distraction. How to pull your mind back when it runs away. Sally Kempton says that meditation it's learning to resist distraction, and it makes you more resistant to boredom, worry, and depression, more grounded, and less prone to being driven by untamable fantasies. She's written this beautiful book called Meditation for the Love of It, and there's so many pearls of wisdom in there. So that one again is learning to resist distraction makes you more resistant to boredom, worry, and depression, more grounded, and less prone to being driven by untamable fantasies. So it's this idea that the more we practice stilling the mind, the easier it is for the mind to find stillness. Now, in an increasingly modern and fast-paced moving world, I truly believe this is an invaluable skill to have, to be able to pull yourself out of the chaos and back into some form of inner stillness. And in what ways can we do that? Well, we zoom in. Zoom into your breath. Follow the path. In through the nose, down through the throat, bifurcates into both lungs, fills from the top and seeps all the way to the bottom. And the bottom of the breath is where the gas exchange happens, where your body turns air that exists around us in the atmosphere into actual, tangible oxygen for you to sustain life with. Now, if ever you don't believe in miracles, remind yourself that every breath you take is a miracle. And can you make this breath even smoother? You lengthen out the inhale. And can you make the exhale even longer than the inhale? Is there tension that you've spotted anywhere, especially in the face, in the shoulders? Can you give the jaw a wiggle and let the tongue be free? Can you let the cheeks release from the sides of your teeth? And the point between your brows melts and let your forehead follow. Your shoulders find more space away from the ears as they droop down. Joint by joint, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingertips get to loosen. And find in your posture that space between effort and ease where you are only slightly engaging the muscles that you need to stay sitting or to stay in the position that you are. You've slowed your breath down. Have you noticed anything happening in the heart space? Because I would bet that if you had a pulse monitor on, it would be reading lower now than it was 2 or 3 minutes ago. And I feel pretty confident in that bet because it's a feedback loop. Your breath, your heart, and your mind are in a constant feedback loop with each other. Brain is scanning, looking for potential dangers, potential fears, like it does best, right? We're primal beings at the end of the day, so please don't get mad at your brain for doing its job, trying to keep you safe. Your lungs take in the amount of oxygen that you need to be whatever level of alertness. Have we decided that the area around us is calm and safe? Well, great. And we'll keep the heart rate slow, and we'll keep the breathing slow too. Or has something been registered as, no, I need to breathe faster or be more alert right now? That is not the case right now. But your body would feedback and start to quicken the pace. Now, what happens when the brain is taking control and it doesn't need to be? It thinks that there's worry or fear or danger when the better sense of you knows that that's just not true. Well, that's when we start to tap into and hack the system of the feedback loop. And the best way to do that is by starting with the breath. Because if you can slow the breath down, and especially if you can make your exhales almost twice as long as your inhales, what that's doing, it's helping your body, first of all, clear CO2. When you're breathing out more, you have more opportunity to get rid of the CO2 that your body's holding on to. And it's also going to decrease the heart rate, because it sends a signal to your nervous system that everything is safe. If I'm fine breathing slow, then we're in a safe place. And if your mind did the thing where it likes to run away, kindly bring it back. Just the same way you would if a puppy was starting to tug on its leash, with no hate, no malice, no judgment. And we'll take the next several rounds of breath in complete silence. But as always, I promise to wake you up. And before you open the eyes, before you make any wiggles, deepen the breath. Fill in past full, all the way to the top. And open mouth, let it out. And at the bottom of your exhale, squeeze even more. Get all the stale air out of your lungs and ripple back into the inhale. One more open mouth like that. And let it out. And start to bring a wiggle into the fingertips, into the toes. You can let that wiggle movement turn into rolling out the wrists. Maybe placing your hands to your thighs, bringing physical touch back into the room. And hands come heart center. And start to rub them together to create friction, to create heat. And when you think your hands are warm enough, keep rubbing, keep going until they're really hot. And with your fingers tightly pressed to each other, place them over top of the eyelids. Fingers tightly shut, open the eyes behind the fingers. And in your own time, start to part the fingers and draw them away from the face as you let the light back in. And I hope that with you off of your bolster today, you can carry with you a sense of surrender in the mind, a sense of control in the breath, and a sense of being in the heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your practice today. I'll see you next time.